Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the stage reading of Seven Black Men by Phillip W. Weiss. Although this play is inspired by actual persons and events, it is a work of fiction and should be construed as such. Any similarity to any persons living or dead is unintended and entirely coincidental. The dialogue contained herein is the product of the author's imagination. Synopsis: 7 famous American black men discuss the role of race in defining their identities. Scene 1. Time, the present. Place, a room. Setting: 7 black men are sitting at a table. Each one is famous and successful. Although they have known of one another, this is the first time they have personally met.
My name is Will Bowser. I'm an actor and a scholar. I have a PhD in education. I produced and starred one of the most popular television sitcoms in history and became a role model for all aspiring African Americans. I'm also a veteran of the U.S. Navy and something of a lady.
I'm L.K. Sampson. I'm an ex-football player. And I was the first to rush over 2,000 yards in one season. And after I quit playing football, I became an actor. And on the negative side, I had a few minor rushes with the law.
If you're a boxing fan, you probably already heard of me. I was born Charlie K. But later became a black Muslim and changed my name to Jabba Khaled. I was 3-time heavyweight champion with birth. I was stripped of my title after I refused to be drafted.
I'm Nick Bison. I'm just a regular guy from Brooklyn, street smart and tough. I was the youngest and most intimidating heavyweight champion in history. Later on, I served some time in the pen, but that's in the past.
My name is Kimmy Brown. I was one of the first black superstars in professional football. I led the league in rushing 8 times and won a championship. I quit football at the top of my game and became an actor. I'm an old man now. I think I still got some things to say.
Hey, I'm Will Chamberlain. Some consider me as the greatest professional basketball player in the history of the game. I'm the first and so far only player to ever score 4,000 points in one season and 100 points in one game. I'm also a prolific lover.
My name is Tiger Woods. I have won 80 major golf events and 14 major championships. And during my career, I've made over $1 billion in winnings and endorsements. But I've also had some domestic issues which have set me back. Hopefully, I'll be able to get back on the winning track soon.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, somebody sent me an invitation to attend a special event.
I got the same invitation.
Is this supposed to be the event?
I got the same invitation.
I have a feeling we all received the same invitation.
It says on the invitation, quote, "You are cordially invited to attend a special event. This event will discuss the relationship of successful black men in a white-dominated society." Close quote. It sounded interesting to me, and I said to myself, why not? What else am I doing? My life is already a disaster.
It's your fault.
I didn't say it wasn't, but I will tell you right now, I never murdered my wife.
You've been saying that ever since you beat the rap. You know you got out only because the jury was all black and that judge was a joke.
Hey, I got some experience with the legal system too, and let me tell you, it's stacked against the black man. I know. I spent 3 years in jail for something I didn't do.
But the bro here beat the rap, and he's black. So how come he went to jail and he didn't?
He had the best lawyers money could buy. I had some court-appointed putts.
You guys are repulsive. Real roll lowlifes. That's what you are, carousing around white women.
In my case, the lady was black.
Black, white, what's the difference?
All the difference in the world. I've had 50 women accuse me of raping. All of them are white.
That's what happens when you mess around with white ladies. They come to bite you bad. That's why I stay away.
Wish I did that.
You look half black and half Chinese.
Half die.
Whatever. My point being is that you don't even know what you want.
Hey, all of us are black, including black. Look at the color of our skin. It says it all.
Big deal, all right? Skin color don't mean squat. Blackness is a question of culture.
It don't mean anything to me either. I became a star because of my talent and not because of my skin color.
But that don't matter. People still see you for the color of your skin, which is black, and they put you immediately behind the 8 ball.
Can that fool talk? Okay, hey, talk plainly. What are you trying to say?
I am talking plainly. I use a metaphor to try to make my point.
Which is?
That we are stigmatized.
You believe that crap. That's what the white people want you to believe. That we're no good. Me, I was upfront about it. When I was coming from, I even changed my name.
You did that just to make a lot of noise.
I did not. I did it out of confession, personal beliefs.
Don't make me laugh, brother. You made the noise you did to avoid military service. Be honest, admit it.
I did no such thing.
Yes, you did. I served 4 years in the Navy stateside. You could have done the same thing too.
Your situation was different.
No, it wasn't. I could have said, up yours. I'm not serving this racist country.
But at the time, you weren't a star. They would have thrown your ass in prison.
But I didn't give them a cause to do that. Instead, I served. I didn't grandstand like a friend of me did.
You want me to play the Uncle Tom? Fine. I'm not.
Who are you calling Uncle Tom? I wanted to make money and made a ton of it.
What good was that? Now you're a book.
I'm no bum. I worked my way up from the streets to become champ. But it's easy for you to talk. You're an actor. Me? I went into the ring and put it on the line.
Acting can be a tough way to make a living too.
Acting? Tough. Don't make me laugh. You ever been in the ring?
Yeah, I boxed when I was in the Navy.
Big deal. For the amateurs. I went up against the best in the world.
I did some boxing too. I liked it.
Well, that brute force stuff turns me off. I like the finesse that goes with playing golf.
Golf is a pussy sport.
Not when you're on the 18th hole and $10 million is riding on one shot, it isn't. And please stop getting on my case.
Hey, we're just talking, okay? No need to cop an attitude.
Just because I don't get my head bashed in does not mean I'm not a man.
There's more to being a man than being tough.
Nah, I'm not into that macho garbage either. It's too phony.
But that's how people see us. And it scares me.
Even white people.
I mean all people. Look, I'm a Muslim, and I believe in peace. That's why I refuse to be drafted.
And you paid the price.
I did. But you think I would have been treated that way if I was white?
But you weren't white, and you broke the law.
We've all broken the law. Isn't that right, Samson?
Why are you asking me? I was found not guilty.
In LA, you were, not in Vegas.
That was different. The judge there was out to get me.
That's right. Blame it on the judge. Why can't you just take responsibility for what you did?
I didn't do anything.
So you got convicted for nothing?
That's right. For nothing. All political. Anybody else would have gotten a slap on the wrist, but instead the judge threw the book at me. It sucks. And that is racist.
I mean, I was a major football star too, and I managed to stay out of jail.
You had your run-ins too. What about all those women who complain about you assaulting them?
A bunch of shakedown artists. That's all. Just trying to capitalize off of my fame.
That's what I said too.
Yeah, see, you know what? You understand what I'm talking about. That shows that you're cool, man.
I'll tell you, being famous can be rough. You really gotta watch yourself.
Is it?
Being famous can be lucrative too. I mean, so what? Would you rather be poor and unknown or rich and
Is it becoming rich and famous the American dream?
It sure was for me. I wasn't playing football for nothing.
You mean you didn't pay for the love of the sport?
Are you joking? No way.
No, I'm not joking. Why do you think I'm joking?
Hey, cool it, man. It's just a second.
Listen, don't need to get touchy, all right? We just talking here.
About what?
I was never much for talking. I let my fist do the talking for me.
Man of action, right?
You got it. That's what I believe. Don't say it, do
I think all of us have gotten to that.
Yeah, I did too. Look where it got me. Nowhere.
You were a great player. Almost as good as me.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, but I think I was just a little bit better.
Yeah, but I won the championship. You did.
Yeah, but I ran over 2,000 yards in one season playing for a mediocre team.
You see, that's the problem. You think it's such hot stuff, and that's why you never got your championship.
That's right. You had it all and you blew it bad. You had money, fame, notoriety, and you flushed it all down.
Yeah, that is true.
It is true. In fact, it's true for all of us.
Speak for yourself, buddy. Ha ha. I'm happy with my life.
That you boinked 20,000 women? How did that help improve the image of the black men?
Show that we can compile impressive stats. I also scored 4,000 points in one season.
You see, black men are supermen. We can do anything we want.
I never thought race was a factor in my career.
Half black, half Asian man playing a game dominated by white men, and you never thought that race was a factor. Whatever you say.
No need to get so condescending with me.
It just sounded so stupid. I mean, you think people weren't judging you by your skin color? By a different standard?
I know that's in my case, race was a huge factor in my career.
That's because you made it a factor. If you'd have kept your mouth shut, the issue would haven't come up.
Don't be naive. If I hadn't brought it up, I'd just be an Uncle Tom nigga doing the bidding of the white man. And I wasn't going for that at all. You hear me?
Get this straight. I'm no Uncle Tom, and I don't do anyone's bidding. I was paid for what I did, and so were you. So, you have no cause to complain. And please, don't use the N-word again. It offends me.
Between bros, the N-word is not a derogatory term. That you find its use offensive, that shows how white you become. And honestly, believe help out.
Let me tell you something, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about. You think using the N-word is cool, but it's not. White people love it when we call each other that word. It confirms and legitimizes every negative stereotype they have of us. Even at the height of Jim Crow, the use of the word brought shame, even the most hardcore races. Now, you hear and see that word everywhere. In movies, television, online, and now from you, a man who changed his name in an attempt to rid you that horrible word signifies. And you accuse me of being white? Why? Because I was paid money from white people to entertain the public? Does that make me an Uncle Tom? No. That makes Bill work.
Look, people are not colorblind, okay? But as long as you're performing, then they're not gonna throw a race in your face.
So, what you say? If you hush up, put on that watermelon smile and do your job, everything will be cool.
That's right, as long as you make your money from it.
Until something goes wrong and then they turn you faster with a bolt of lightning and shove that watermelon right down your throat.
Is that why your wife was chasing you down the road with a golf club in her head?
That was all hyped up by the news.
I don't think so. Maybe somebody put in the word to her, tipped her off, and all of a sudden you were no longer the fair-haired boy. You became the evil, deceitful monster who's a phony and a cheat.
I never claimed to be perfect.
But you were marketing yourself as being perfect. And the public doesn't like you lied.
That's right, and that goes double when you happen to be black.
Double standards, man. If you're white, you're a bum. If you're black, you're a criminal and a threat. It's political.
The politics of race. I heard that before. But to tell you the truth, I'm not too sure what it means.
But you're the guy with the PhD, so you should be explaining to us what that means.
Just another slogan.
Meanwhile, we're given the opportunities that blacks in the past never had. So things can't be all that bad.
Give it opportunity? Nobody gave me anything. I made my own opportunities. I came up from nothing, no advantages.
None of us had advantages.
That's right.
Except for you, Doc. You were born with a silver spoon, you
No, I wasn't. My father was a sergeant in the army.
Who was able to get you on TV when you were the age of what, 3?
I really miss my father. He was a great man.
At least you had your father around. I never knew mine.
That's tough going through a lifetime for your father.
Well, I knew who my father was, but we didn't get along. He didn't like my attitude.
Even when you won that Olympic medal?
Even then, he didn't approve of anything I did.
Sounds like he was a proud man.
Proud and angry, always put down, always kept in his place, never given an opportunity to better himself. Real injustice.
That's sad. But my dad was there for me.
You were lucky, all right? Because a lot of black men can't say that.
I don't know about that. My father was there for me. He was a professional man, served and responsible. So I can't totally endorse this stereotype of all black men as being emotionally responsible for others.
But this is the image of the black man that is fed to the public. All black women are on welfare. All black men are pimps. Oh, crap.
Some of it is the truth. Where I grew up in Brooklyn, almost nobody knew their fathers.
But that's where you grew up. Didn't make it true anyway, everywhere.
Look, I'm from Philly.
I'm from Philly too.
Too bad we never crossed tracks when we were kids. We could have been friends.
Didn't work out. You were in college, you were a basketball star. I took a different route.
And that took you to the same place, here with us, losers lane.
Speak for yourself. We're not losers, we're winners. We've all made a ton of money. How's that being a loser?
Because we are stigmatized, marginalized, and dehumanized. No matter what we do or how much money we make, and in fact, the more money we make, the more that we are hated and despised. Our displays of wealth are perceived as showboating and our money as ill-begotten. No one takes us seriously except for when we act out. And then out comes the race card to delegitimize us and put us back in our place.
Still feel like I'm a winner.
Yeah, lose yourself all you want.
Being black comes with a ton of problems.
Everyone has problems.
Ours are bigger.
When I was playing football, yeah, I thought the party would never stop. Man, I thought I was on top of the world.
Me too. I was making money being held as the greatest basketball player in the world. Yet, it wasn't enough. I was still under that pressure to prove myself.
That because while you were scoring points, other guys were winning championships.
That's true. But they had a better supporting cast. There was nothing I could do about that. I was still the best player. And that's what kept bothering me. The press kept on comparing me the press kept comparing me to when the fact there was no basis of comparison.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. Now, people would ask me, where's the championship ring? And I tell them to get lost.
You said that to reporters?
Well, I didn't exactly use those words, but still, I was annoyed.
Notice how the press would play black men off against each other.
That was more than coincidental. You know, divide and conquer.
Look how dominating the black athlete has become in sports. Maybe the system isn't as rigged as we thought it used to be for black.
I will have to disagree with you. You know, the black athlete is open to more exploitation now than in the past. I mean, there's much more pressure on him to excel if he fails. I mean, he's lambasted mercilessly. He's labeled as a failure. His work ethic is called into question, and his motives are punched. Let me tell you a little story about this situation I had. This was when I was still playing football. So I was at the bar, having me a drink, minding my own business, And this scruffy looking white dude who I seen hanging around the locker room at the stadium after the game, he comes over to me and he asks, "Hey man, what's it like to be black?" Normally, I would have told that dude to get out of here. I mean, after all, who was he asking a question like that to? I mean, what are we? What, freaks? Mutations? You know, I'm a human being too. So why pose a question that separates me from the others and calls attention to my skin color? I thought about decades. But it wasn't about letting them roll. See, I couldn't afford that. You know, being a big star and being a black man. I had too much to lose by acting out, especially in public, which is what the guy was trying to get me to do the whole time. But since he asked me a direct question, I figured I'll give him a direct answer. So I told him, being black in this racist society sucks. I mean, so the guy says to me, "Hey man, I can dig it." I'm like, coming from a white man, I found that comment to be patronizing. I mean, what white person would ever possibly understand what it feels like to be black? It took me all my willpower to restrain myself from hauling off on this guy. Instead, I stayed calm. And with all the dignity I could muster up, I replied, "But you're not black. So how can you possibly understand? And why would you want to tell a black man such an idiotic thing like that anyway?" And one of his buddies comes over and says, "Hey man, we're big fans of yours. We're just trying to make conversation." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And then, while still maintaining my cool, I told them in a graphic language that even y'all would have found shocking, where they could stop their conversation. So that ended the discussion. Both of them gave me dirty looks, they finished their drinks and then slipped away. No damage was done. That is, visible. Two white men trying to use me to provoke racialism for reasons that would benefit them, but would have been disastrous for me. See, that's what happens when you're famous and black. They always try to put you down, put you on the defensive, use you to confirm their own racist attitudes. It's just the way it is.
So we're targets for every bigot with an axe to grind. Big deal. The paychecks are big and are even getting bigger. So somebody out there must like us.
We're the hired help, right? Nothing more. We're expendable. Remember, people are fickle. What happened to that mealy-mouthed right-wing know-it-all on the cable news channel? He was the #1 rated news commentator in the country. After reports went public about his sexual improprieties on the network, they fired his butt fast. Got him up out of there while he was on vacation. He was one of the biggest draws on television, and that didn't stop the network from kicking him out. And he was a white guy. Meanwhile, the attacks are just getting more vicious. The insinuations just get more vitriolic, and the rhetoric out here is just getting more vulgar.
I think you're right. When the white man dominated sports, you never heard about drug testing. Now that's all you hear about.
But white athletes are affected by that too.
But not as disproportionately as it affects black athletes. Let me tell you, if I was putting up the numbers a day that I was putting when I was playing, they would have accused me of being on drugs.
Well, were you on drugs?
No way, man! I was clean as a whistle. When I was playing, that stuff didn't even exist.
There's always been drugs. Uppers, downers, painkillers. They've always been around and used.
The only drug I took was booze. That was my drug of choice.
Yeah, mine too, and cigarettes. At the time, smoking was cool. Not like today. Maybe it would be better if they brought back nicotine. It might lead to less abuse of performance-enhancing drugs, right?
Yeah, idea. I can't stand tobacco. I never smoked and I never will.
You must be the only black man on this planet who never smoked. I don't know what I would have done without my cigarettes, especially while I was fighting. I finally quit when the doc told me that it was clogging up my lungs.
Good for you. You did the right thing.
Yeah. Then the next thing I was arrested for rape. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to that doc. I would have done better if I had stuck with cigarettes and not fooled with that woman. At least cigarettes don't complain after being used.
Are you really that callous?
No, man, I was just joking. I did what I did. It had nothing to do with me cutting out smokes. She was a foxy lady. I liked her, and I thought she liked me.
Mine can play tricks on you.
And you think too? It had nothing to do with tobacco.
Drugs and alcohol always been a problem in sports and in society. When I became a Muslim, I denounced the use of drugs. Alcohol and all other stuff is not prescribed by medical doctors.
There's no need to bring religion into this.
I'm not bringing religion into this. I'm just talking about you, what I had to fend off, the kind of attacks that were talking about me.
If you publicly change your name and announce that you are a Muslim, you made religion a part of the equation.
What equation? I'm not talking about that.
It's an expression. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I had to go public. It was a matter of survival.
I'm not sure if I follow you, my man. I'm Muslim too, but I never made it into a big deal.
That's because you didn't have to. I did it for you.
You didn't do anything for me, okay? And let me tell you something. I have no doubt that I would have demolished you in the ring.
That's what I'm saying. If the two Muslims fighting each other, that would have been a huge draw.
But playing up the religion angle is dangerous. It should be kept private.
When you're famous, nothing is kept private. I know.
That's only if you don't care about protecting your privacy. And you still crave the attention of the top.
No, that's not it. But still wanting to make a living doesn't mean you have to be an open book to every reporter that is looking to make a story.
That's the price you pay to media your story, a paycheck. Either you deal with it or you drop out.
You should have followed your own advice. The media hasn't followed you, so
Nor you either. Don't compare what happened to you with what happened to me.
then why not? We're both black, both successful, both married to white women, both.
You two chumps marrying white women? You were asking for trouble. And you got it, the both of you.
But you were never married, so who are you to talk?
That's exactly why I can talk. You think I didn't have white women hitting on me? You think I wasn't tempted to go on your route? Well, if you think that, you're wrong. That's why I stay single.
Maybe you're a man grabber who was fronted as a ladies' man to protect the image.
You know, my man, you're lucky I'm a gentleman. Or I might just take your offer at what you said.
You want to do something about it? Try to be. All talk, that's all you are. You know, bro? If you're so great, then how come you only won 2 championships while that other guy you played against won 11?
Oh, okay. Very simple, my good man. Now, he was a great player and a good friend of mine, but he had a better supporting cast. You see, while he was part of a team, I was the team. Big difference. I had to carry all the weight. He didn't. If I played on his team, I would have won 15 championships.
That's nothing but talk. Just like you and all those women you claim to have banged.
Back off, okay? If you don't stop, I'm gonna have to take you up on your offer.
You two guys just cool. Alright? You can't have black men fighting each other.
What are you talking about? Fighting is part of our culture. It's about manhood. That's why white people are so afraid of us.
No, it's not. That's what the white man wants you to think. You gotta stop thinking like that. If you act like a brute, then you're gonna be treated like a brute.
What? If a black man sticks up for himself, he's a brute?
I didn't say that. All I'm saying is that when black men get violent, that's just reinforcing the negative stereotype that white people have of blacks.
Who cares about stereotypes? If I'm upset, I'm gonna let people know about it. I'm not a slave who has to suck up to the white master.
Let me tell you something. I should have known what them young brothers are doing today. Take a knee.
But for what reason?
Protest racial injustice.
What injustice? You were a star. The people love you. What more did you want?
I wanted to be acknowledged that I was a man, not just a black man.
I can dig that. People pay to watch me play, but I think what they saw in me was some kind of big, walky black freak.
How you know that?
Because I'm black. That's how I know. Okay? You think white people didn't notice my race?
But you were admired.
Same way people admire race voters.
Put them right on your plate.
And always made me choke. You know, I just couldn't be myself.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious, but I didn't have the guts to be honest. To tell people how I really felt.
Well, I did.
And what did that get you?
Got
Grief.
me. It got me respect.
You already had respect. How much more respect did you need?
I'm talking about self-respect. That I could finally look at myself in the mirror and feel without shame.
You could have fooled me. I don't remember you didn't act like you were ashamed of anything.
Don't play me that way, okay? You all know what I'm talking about. The crops. Being a sellout to my people and all to my race. I was being a phony and I couldn't take it anymore.
Who lives in a sellout? We're all trying to make a living. Even white people was there with that.
It's not the same. When whites suck up, it's personal reasons. Blacks suck up. They are reconfirming their historical surveillance based squarely and exclusively on race. No white person has to deal with that. One morning I woke up and that little birdie in my head told me, you know what to do. Now do it.
And for which you paid a price. One that I wouldn't have been able to afford. Besides, I wasn't looking to make any political statements.
I hear what you're saying, bro, but I had to do that.
You didn't have to do anything. You were just showboating, spouting off, trying to whip up interest in your career, fighting a bunch of chumps.
Dug in.
That's because there was no one out there worth ducking.
Man, you are ignorant history.
But what you're talking about isn't history. The fight in Manila was a joke. I would have decked that clown in one round. And that fight in Africa, oh, complete farce. You pull that rope of those garbage on me, they would have had to carry you out of the ring. Maybe in a coffin. You sure those fights weren't fixed?
That shows how little you really know about boxing and about who I fought.
All I know is that I would have demolished those guys.
Now who's full of talk? You lost the title to a club fighter, and when you made that so-called comeback, you became a laughing stock. No wonder you start hitting on women to make up for your failures in the ring.
That's a low blow and you know it.
And you know, Java, it's easy to fix a fight.
Same thing can be fixed for a trial. For instance, you.
I was found not guilty, fair and square. Nobody was bought off.
You telling me that the trail of blood from the crime scene to your truck was some kind of hoax?
It was planted.
By you?
You are so wrong.
You were found not guilty. So why are you becoming so...
Because I've been hearing the same trash for the last 30 years.
And you'll keep on hearing it. Questions were raised about the legitimacy of the trial and the jury's findings.
My not guilty verdict was a victory for justice, okay?
Justice for who?
For me! And who are you to talk anyway? Doping up all them women in that finger.
Those are allegations.
Yeah, serious allegations. Man, if you want to women so badly, like, why you ain't just hire some hookers?
Those women voluntarily came over my base.
You lured them and you know it. You just want to admit it.
Hey, I'm very proud of the way I live my life.
As a phone. You and your middle class image, it just wasn't a sham.
It was not.
It was too. You tried to pass yourself off as Mr. Family Man, Mr. Intellectual, just to get over our white.
I refuse to accept it. Unlike you, I didn't rape anybody.
Ooh. At least I owned up to what I did and served my time. You don't have the guts to do the same.
I don't need to because I did nothing wrong. I'm innocent.
That's what they all say.
Well, it's true.
That's what they all say?
No, then I'm innocent. These women were trying to take advantage of me, get over on me, to capitalize on my faith.
So what you're saying is that you were nothing to them. They just wanted to use you.
That's right.
So did you
I'd rather
ever?
not discuss it.
You are one sorry excuse for a black man. Now let me tell you something. I had so many ladies that I had to lose count.
Including white ladies.
Them too. In fact, they wanted it the most. It was unbelievable.
Meanwhile, you got yours too. By that black lady who complained about you to the police.
She wanted it, so I gave it to her. I couldn't say no.
Women kept coming on to me too. And after a while, it was overwhelming. When I first started out, getting laid was a struggle. But once the money started rolling in, I had to hire an entire staff just to keep the women, and some men too, away from me.
Men too? Are you gay?
I'm not gay. I receive all kind of letters and emails and gifts from guys saying how much they wanted to meet me and do all kind of stuff.
Stuff like what?
I have to show you a picture.
No, we live a deprived world.
There's nothing wrong with meeting ladies. And that's what life is about, having a good time.
So for you, that's what life is all about. Screwing women.
I guess so. Don't tell me you're one of those touchy-feely guys. Big, strong guy like you.
No, man. No way. I've had my share of babes, but after I met my wife, that all changed.
And it seems not for the better.
I love my wife, and she was everything to me. I still miss her. Why did you? Because. Hey, screw you.
You were about to say something? Then you stopped.
No, I didn't kill anybody. Is that clear?
As we said, you were found not guilty, and our jury's all right.
A jury found me guilty too, just like they found you guilty in Las Vegas.
That was pure politics. All I wanted was my stuff.
I remember a few years ago, I was a guest at a show. And I